Sakhal is no joke, and surviving here requires more than just luck. You'll need strategy and some smart survival skills. And some luck. Whether you're a veteran or a brand new player, these tips will help you make it through the cold night better than a bottle of whiskey and a video from your favorite content creator. Okay, maybe top 10. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe. It really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. No, I don't.
Mommy was a silly nilly-nuggin.
What the fuck was that? First up, if you're unlucky enough to catch a cold early on, you can cure it without meds if you catch it quickly. Staying warm and getting a heat buff will often be enough to shake it before it gets worse. Don't immediately waste medicine when you can naturally fight it. Keeping warm halts the increase and the spread while the immune system fights it off. But if you leave it too late, you'll definitely need tetracycline. But there are ways to stave off the cold and prevent illness. One of them is wringing out your clothing whenever you get wet. The second you notice you're wet or soaked, find some shelter and wring them out to reduce the damage to insulation. Moving on, when first making fires, build them under trees or in strategic spots to hide the smoke. The leaves above will block the smoke rising into the sky and giving away your position to other players. It's a simple but effective way to stay hidden while staying warm, because you almost certainly will need to make a fire in the wilderness at some point. Next, fishing hooks can now be crafted with sharpened sticks, so no more searching for bones to carve for actual hooks. Just sharpen a stick and you're set to fish wherever you find water. Additionally, you can use a jig. For anyone who doesn't know what a jig is, it's a hook and bait in one, and it's super useful when found. Just attach it to a rod, you don't need a worm, and you will get some good fish. Duct tape and sewing kits are your best friends when it comes to clothing repair. Sakhal is unforgiving, and damaged clothing will make you more vulnerable to everything. Always keep duct tape or a sewing kit with you and repair your gear the second you see it's damaged and is losing insulation. Next is one told to me by a friend, and it's simple but smart. Always keep a single stone on you. You can use it to craft a stone knife early on. A stone knife is perfect for all your non-essential tasks like cutting up rags or digging up worms, things that you don't want to waste a good knife on. Save your proper knives for combat, bark cutting, stealth kills, or the tires of a cheating ex. Speaking of essentials, keep rags on you whenever possible. Not only can you use them to bandage wounds, now bandages are a little more scarce, just disinfect first, but rags are perfect for crafting a torch in a pinch. Just combine them with any stick you can get from the masses of bushes around, and you'll have a light source and a way to keep yourself warm in those freezing journeys. Not as effective as a fire, but still pretty useful. Another heat saving tip, keep warm items and food in your jacket pockets or pants, not on your backpack. They will provide you with a little bit of a heat buff, at the very least slowing down how fast you get cold. Moving on, cutting up spare clothing to make gloves and a face mask is something you'll see a lot of streamers doing at the beginning for a good reason. It's an easy way to protect yourself from the cold if you haven't found the proper gear yet. And this leads on to the next one. Always layer up or use as many items as you can find. It seems minor, it seems obvious, but don't overlook foot, hand and heat insulation. Maybe having one doesn't make a huge difference, but having layers on all of these areas stack quite well. Add a vest and you're good to go. The colder you stay, the quicker your food drains, so layering and covering up is crucial for staying alive. Here's one I mentioned the other day, but I really need to keep mentioning it. After cutting up an animal, if you don't have gloves and get your hands bloodied, just wash them in the snow to keep them clean. You don't need water. This is especially useful given most water sources are frozen. It's quick and easy and could save you from a slow death. Now this one is very specific. On Sakhal, in-game maps now show water sources differently because it has springs and not wells. So look for these blue meander symbols. It indicates water locations, which is vital for survival when clean water is so difficult to come by. Here's a clever one. Fill up a canteen from a hot spring. It gives you water and allows you to stay warm for a while, but just keep in mind you can't use a bottle because the hot spring will just ruin the bottle really quickly. But moving on to a food tip, don't bother cooking foods like zucchinis or tomatoes. They don't have to be cooked. Not really. Just thaw them out by carrying them on your person. It saves you time, and more importantly, it saves you wasting supplies if you aren't going down the natural route. Next is you absolutely need to do as much prep as possible, and the best way to do that is by learning the most common mistakes every player makes in Sakhal. And to learn them, just click here. Or for something else, click here. But as always, until next time.